What if the place you're in doesn't exist? Not like you think. You feel grounded, your feet on a floor, a ceiling above your head, the world out there humming with clocks and cars and schedules. But what if none of it is as real as it seems? What if the idea of being in a place is the illusion, and instead you are the place? Now imagine this. You're sitting in your room. Light spills through the window. Everything feels still. But beneath your skin, there are trillions of cells humming with life. Deeper still, atoms whirling in patterns more complex than any city. And every one of those atoms, they act like they know you, like they orbit not just a nucleus, but you. You are the god of those particles, and yet they make you. That's the paradox. You're both creator and creation. You're not just in the universe. You're the center of a universe folded inward. The place you think you're in, it's more accurate to say it's inside you. Look closer. That silence you sense in the void, it isn't empty. It's humming. It knows you're there. The nothingness, it's aware. What you call space is dense with invisible structure, energy vibrating just beyond your perception. Physicists call this the quantum field, a sea of probability where particles flicker in and out of being, not as static things, but as potential, waiting for an observer to call them into reality. What we think of as matter only becomes real when it's observed. That means that nothing, not a chair, not a star, not even your own body, is solid or stable in any fixed sense. Until you're looking, it's all just information in a cloud of potential. Think of a radio that can only tune into one frequency. Just because you're only hearing one song doesn't mean there aren't millions of others playing simultaneously. Reality is the same. What you experience is the narrow band your senses are tuned to. But above and below that band, entire dimensions could be playing. Realms operating on different planes, interwoven but unseen. And the strangest part? These aren't just metaphors. In laboratories, particles have behaved in ways that defy everything we thought we knew, communicating across space instantly, existing in multiple states at once, or changing depending on whether they're watched. It's not fiction, it's physics. Still think you're just a small being in a big place? You are a walking galaxy of consciousness, trillions of living organisms operating within you, unaware that they are part of something infinitely larger. Just as we might be. Your perception of separation, me here, you there, space between, it's not real. It's a trick of survival, a filter. Your senses weren't built to reveal truth, but to help you navigate. Beyond that filter is an interconnected web of awareness. Every object, every person, every thought linked. Your mind is not just yours. It's a tapestry woven from every moment you've lived, every word spoken to you, every fear passed down through generations. Even the voices in your head, the ones that doubt, resist, criticize, aren't always your own. They're echoes, residue of conditioning. You've been trained to see yourself as a unit, an individual. But in truth, you're a community, a symphony of competing programs, personas, impulses, a crowd in a costume. And when you start to peel away those layers, when you stop reacting like a machine trained by its environment and instead observe the observer, that's when something begins to shift. You tap into the deeper strata of mind, the place beneath the ego's noise, where a different intelligence waits. One that's not bound by time, not limited by the senses. An intelligence that is the universe dreaming through you. We think reality is made of things, objects, people, places. But peel back the layers and everything is motion, vibration, information. Even you. The spiral of your DNA matches the spiral of galaxies. The golden ratio that defines the curve of a leaf describes the arms of hurricanes. You are not in the pattern. You are the pattern. The ancients tried to tell us this. They built their monuments to mirror the heavens. They didn't just believe in gods. They believed in a mirror between the cosmos and the self. The phrase, as above, so below, wasn't poetry. It was instruction. But we forgot. Now, we've built a world that only trusts what it can measure. But just because you can't measure the wind doesn't mean it doesn't move you. Reality is not just what you can see, touch, or explain. It's also what you feel in the silence, what speaks when your thoughts stop, what watches behind your eyes. And here's where it gets stranger. In recent discoveries, physicists have uncovered what they call the holographic principle, the idea that everything we experience in 3 dimensions may actually be a projection from a 2-dimensional surface, like a hologram. That means you, your memories, this moment, could all be data playing out in a cosmic simulation. So what does that make you? Not a puppet, not a pawn, but a projector. You're the lens through which reality focuses. Your thoughts are the light shining through the hologram. What you perceive becomes what is. That's not metaphor. It's quantum logic. And yet, this isn't about escaping reality. It's about waking up to the role you play in shaping it. It's about seeing the gold inside the lead. For centuries, alchemists spoke of turning base metals into gold, but the true work was internal. The gold was always you, buried beneath fear, doubt, old wounds. There is a self not made of parts, but of presence, not defined by history, but by awareness. You don't need to seek meaning outside you. You are meaning. The breath in your lungs, the rhythm of your heart, the curiosity that led you here, all of it is the mystery in motion. You are not lost. You are not separate. You are the signal and the receiver, the code and the decoder. You are not in a place. You are the place. The observer collapsing probability into form, the universe folding in on itself to witness its own beauty through you. The realization still lingers that the world is not around you, but through you. That what you once believed to be reality is a projection, a dance of energy sculpted into form by the very act of your awareness. But now something stranger begins to unfold, like walking into a familiar room only to discover a hidden door you'd never noticed. Except the door isn't in the room. It's in your perception of it. Your senses adjust. Your surroundings blur, not as if fading, but rearranging, like puzzle pieces reshuffling into an entirely new picture using the same pieces. You are not simply moving through time and space. Time and space are moving through you. This is where it deepens. You feel a sensation in your fingertips, not touch, not temperature, but something closer to memory, as if your skin remembers something your mind never learned. And then it hits you. What you experience as now is not happening in the present. It's being reconstructed in your brain hundreds of milliseconds after the fact. You have never actually experienced reality as it is. Only after your brain edits, buffers, and reorders it. That delay, that slight lag, is the gap, the seam, the place where the edges fray, and it is in that gap that something extraordinary begins to shimmer. Your perception of reality is not continuous. It is stitched together like a film reel, frame by frame, and what lies between the frames may be more real than the picture itself. Every instant you believe you are experiencing, every word, breath, movement, is assembled by your brain like a slideshow. But between those slides, between the blinks, is darkness. Not emptiness, but unprocessed data. Unclaimed awareness. You can test it right now. Close your eyes. The world does not vanish. It waits. It hangs there like scenery behind a stage curtain, invisible but present. But even more than that, your perception doesn't stop. It simply shifts into a different mode. So what is happening in that invisible space between perception? Strangely, researchers have found that people can sometimes predict what will happen in the next moment before they have consciously seen it. It's called anticipatory response, where your body, your heartbeat, your skin conductance reacts before a future event occurs. Almost like your consciousness isn't just riding the river of time, but watching it flow from above. And if that's true, then maybe, just maybe, the linearity of time is just another illusion, a convenience, like chapter markers in a book you didn't write, but are somehow reading aloud. Your mind loops this idea as you stare at a flickering street lamp outside your window. It dims, then brightens. And suddenly, you wonder, is it flickering? Or is your awareness slicing it into fragments? In the same way that a spinning fan appears still when matched to a strobe light, perhaps what we see as stillness or movement depends entirely on how often we're sampling reality. Your brain is a strobe light. It captures frames. But in between those flashes, something else is there. And now another phenomenon enters the frame. In remote locations, thousands of miles apart, groups of people have meditated, focused, or simply been aware. And devices measuring random number generators have shown changes in behavior that seem too organized to be chance, not cause and effect, not logic, but influence without contact. It's as if reality itself responds to attention, as if the frame rate of your consciousness not only sees the picture, it colors it. And here's the deeper unraveling. If reality is built from perception, and perception is built from intermittent awareness, then the gaps, the silences between the moments, are not absences. They are access points. They are the underground passages of the psyche, the hidden machinery that turns potential into experience. And though your conscious mind may blink rapidly over them like skipping stones on water, something deeper in you never stops watching. Imagine walking into a room with a flickering light. You think the light is faulty, but then you realize it flickers only when you're thinking about something painful or something forgotten. What if the room isn't changing at all? What if your internal landscape is altering the physical flicker? This is not metaphor. It is the strange overlap where consciousness leaks into environment, where inside and outside lose their boundaries. Because beneath the stitched-together illusion of linear time, of stable matter, of unbroken consciousness, there's a canvas, blank, but humming. And that canvas is your awareness before it is shaped into thought. Every dream you've ever had, every gut feeling, every déjà vu. They're not glitches. They're glimpses, leaks from the other side of the curtain, where time runs sideways and space is less like a grid and more like a labyrinth folding in on itself. You exist at the crossing of two truths, that you are the experiencer, the one walking through the mystery, and that you are also the script, the backdrop, and the spotlight. And in those fractions of a second, those missing frames, you are not bound by any of the rules you thought you were. Not by time, not by logic, not even by self. You are the silence between the notes of the song, the space that allows the pattern to exist. So the mystery deepens not by adding more answers, but by noticing the gaps, the pauses, the unseen choreography between the dancer and the dance. And once you've seen it, once you've stepped into the gap, you will never again look at reality as something happening to you. You'll see it as something happening through you, a script you are both writing and reading, one flickering frame at a time. And just beyond that final frame, something waits. Not an ending, but a doorway. The air holds its breath. You stand at the threshold of that last flickering frame, where the echoes of the mystery no longer feel like distant riddles, but like a rhythm, one that has always been pulsing beneath your every thought, every blink, every breath. The gaps are no longer hidden. They've become passageways, each one a thread pulling you into a deeper recognition. You see the room around you, not as walls and objects, but as a woven fabric of attention, expectation, and memory. Everything has a shimmer now. The ordinary is tinged with something stranger. Your coffee mug, the dust suspended in sunlight, the ticking clock. They're no longer background noise to your awareness. They're part of a dialogue, as if reality is not speaking at you, but with you. And then the final piece clicks into place. Consciousness does not arise within the brain arises within consciousness. It lands not like a shock, but like a confirmation of something you've always known in the background, like a familiar song faintly heard through a wall. All this time, you believed you were a mind contained in a body, interacting with a world out there. But now the reversal is complete. The world is a phenomenon appearing within awareness, your awareness, not separate from it. The walls around you, the floor beneath you, the people you speak with, the choices you make, even the thoughts you think, they all unfold inside the theater of consciousness. Just as a dream feels immersive while you're in it, so does waking life. But now you've seen the structure behind it, and here's where it deepens beyond metaphor. Researchers have noticed something baffling when trying to measure physical reality at the smallest scales. The observer changes the outcome, but it's more than a quirky trait of quantum particles. It's a blueprint. A hint that what we experience as solid, measurable, and predictable is actually contingent, not fixed, but responsive. Not passive, but participatory. Think about how a mirror works. You see your face, not because the mirror creates it, but because it reflects what is already there. In the same way, the world doesn't generate your awareness, it reflects it. It is shaped by it. Imagine waking up inside a perfectly realistic dream. Everything looks, feels, and sounds real. But then you start noticing patterns. Glitches, repetitions, symbols that seem to respond to your attention. At first, you question your senses, but then you realize the dream isn't breaking down. It's opening up. This life, this waking reality, is not something separate from your inner world. It is one seamless interface. Your thoughts ripple outward. Your attention molds probabilities. The patterns you carry inside silently sculpt the events you meet outside. And once you see this, not as a belief, but as an observable rhythm, you begin to dance with it. The strangest phenomena, synchronicities, premonitions, déjà vu, impossible timing, the sudden knowing of something before it happens, these are not exceptions. They are leaks, tiny ruptures in the veil where the inner and outer momentarily blend, and they whisper a deeper truth, that the separation between you and the world is a learned illusion, a trick of the lens. Your consciousness is not in the universe. The universe is in your consciousness. Everywhere you go, you carry it. Not like luggage, but like a projector carrying its own light. Everything you see is shaped by how you see. And yet, this doesn't isolate you. It connects you to everything. The trees don't just exist near you. They bloom within the field of your awareness. The sounds of the street, the hum of distant traffic, they rise like waves in the ocean of what you are. Other people aren't separate minds behind walls of skin. They are reflections, waveforms in the same boundless field, each one tuned to a different frequency, but all vibrating in a shared awareness. You realize even time itself is not flowing forward. It is appearing, one perceptual slice at a time, inside you. You are not a passenger. You are the screen, the camera, the stage, and the actor. And yet, you are more. Because beyond even this cosmic intimacy lies one final clue, the most ordinary of experiences, and yet the most profound. That silent center you've always known, the one that never changes, even as your thoughts, body, surroundings, and emotions shift. The you that watched your childhood, your dreams, your fears, your victories, it has never aged, it has never moved, it has simply been. Everything else has passed through it like scenery. And now you realize that still point is not in your life. Your life is in it. The journey doesn't end here. It begins again, with eyes open, with a world that now shimmers, not because something outside has changed, but because you've peeled back the final layer. So walk into your next moment with this awareness, not as someone trying to reach something, but as someone who's remembered what was always hidden in plain sight. The fabric of your life is not random. It is responsive. The world is not foreign. It is familiar. And you are not a fragment. You are the whole, experiencing itself one vivid frame at a time. So the question now is not what is real. The question is, what will you create now that you know?